The Big Short is the new film from director and writer Adam McKay. It is an adaptation of Michael Lewis's 2010 book of the same name. The story follows a group of outsiders in the world of finance who bet against the credit and housing markets in the years leading up to the 2007 financial crisis. New York Magazine calls The Big Short the ultimate feel-furious movie about Wall Street. Here's the trailer for the film. Joining me now is the film's writer and director, Adam McKay, and one of its stars, Steve Carell. I'm pleased to have them both here. Welcome. It's great to see you here.
Good to see you.
Look at this. Look at this. Hollywood occupies Wall Street. There you are.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got, the other stars are here, too.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I still cannot figure it out. Yeah.
So is this a comedy or a tragedy?
It's both. I mean, it's a true story. So we knew from the very beginning it would never adhere to one strict genre. When these guys, the real people that Steve plays and Christian Bale and all these great actors, when they found out that there was a bubble and no one else knew about it, they were very excited. So it was exciting times. They were actually having, there was a lot of energy, and then that changed and became tragic. So it's kind of both.
You wanted to do this, though. To read about you in this magazine. You really wanted to make this movie a movie about Wall Street and about the crash.
Yeah, I read this book, and I really felt like Michael Lewis's book was one of the books of our times. I really felt like it dealt with a lot of issues. I think it dealt with culture, it dealt with character, and then it dealt with information. And you don't often see those three things intertwined so brilliantly. And by the time I was done reading it, I felt like I really had looked behind the curtain of Wall Street to some degree. I know it's more complicated than that. And so we decided with this movie that we were going to go for it all. We were going to try and explain it. We were going to have great characters. We were going to go for the whole thing that Lewis pulled off with his book.
It's a little different than Anchorman 1 and 2, isn't it?
I don't think it's different at all. Can you please explain how it's different? Or
I didn't.
Character development was very similar.
Yes.
Because Adam would be at the monitor.
Just wanted to tee him up.
Same thing. Well, Adam likes to work. He has a microphone. He sits in his little director's area.
Oh, with a megaphone, is it?
He has a amplified.
It is. It's a calliope. It's that loud. Yeah.
And he barks orders. No, he gives us.
I'm very German when I direct.
Oh, really?
I want exactness. I want marks to be hit.
But it was similar. It was actually similar in a way to Anchorman, except the things that we were talking about.
How was it similar? It
was similar in the sense that you had a complete freedom to fail. And you knew that Adam would protect you. If you stunk, he wouldn't put it in the movie. That really is it.
That's a nice
but it gives you it's a great protection because then you try all sorts of things.
Take risk.
Totally. Yeah. And it's great as an actor to be able to do that.
So tell me who this is that you portray, Stephen Eisman.
Well, the character's name in the movie is Mark Baum. We've changed the name, and it's based on Stephen. And he is a brash, he's a very bold, he doesn't suffer fools. I met with him. Actually, Mr. Eisman showed up the second day that I was shooting and was instructed to, sort of lay low, don't hang out at the monitor, just sort of be a fly on the wall. And within minutes, he was giving Adam notes. Oh, yeah. He was walking on the set, giving me instruction. And tell him about
the notes. What?
They were good. They were great.
The guy's a smart guy. But it was like, I went over to him. I said, "Look, Steve, it's great to have you here, but you can't." And throughout the movie, when you see the movie, you're aware, like Carell doing Mark Baum is constantly getting phone calls in the middle of conversations and walking away from people. So I went up to the real guy and I said, "Look, Steve, you can't come behind the monitor." And in the middle of me talking to him, he got a phone call, walked away. Like, he's always on the phone, telling you what you should do. Yet you love him. He's definitely on the side of the angels. He's definitely a good guy.
That's exactly the right way to put it. He has a big heart.
So did you go to him and talk to him about portraying the role, about what he thought about it?
I did.
And look for mannerisms and things?
Yeah, but it's sort of creepy doing that. To be honest,
creepy.
It's creepy. Well, you sit with somebody.
That's what great actors did.
Well, it's weird because you don't want to feel like you're stealing their soul. You don't want to feel like you're examining them. There's some sort of science project when you're sitting across from them in a little diner on the Upper East Side. Ooh, look what he did with his hand. That's just weird. You're doing it, but you don't want to feel like you're, taking advantage in any way. And I just wanted to be respectful and to pay respect to him as a person in the portrayal.
It's hard to say after your last performance, or the last one that was nominated for an Oscar, that anything is a turn for you because you've already made the turn.
That can be interpreted so many different ways.
But in the best possible way. Don't you? You know what I meant, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Adam's going through the same sort of thing because he's known for Anchorman.
Sure.
But I think anyone who knows, I've known Adam since 1990, and anyone who knows him knows that this is not a big surprise. Everyone...
The fact that he would want to make this kind of film.
And that he would do it so...
deftly.
So elegantly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so smart and so passionate. It's a perfect fit.
Somebody said, or in writing and reading this piece and other pieces about him, and we've talked about it with Will before, that in a group of comedians, he's the funniest guy in the room, even though you've never seen him on screen.
Definitely.
Really?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. He's the guy, well, with the microphone at the monitor, he's the one lobbing those lines out that are everyone's favorite lines in the movie. And your job is to try to say it without laughing and without ruining his delivery. So, yeah, he is the funniest person there.
So why no role for Will Ferrell here?
We actually discussed it. At one point, I said to Will, I go, there's some cameos we could do. And he goes, no, do this one on your own. This is yours. So, but God bless Will, he still came down and visited the set for like 3 days and just hung out and was like, so that's Will. Like he had no reason to be there other than just to support, the guy he works with. And we had a great time with him. But he's been amazing, very excited for this movie.
People who watch the show have heard me interview Michael 10 times, including about The Big Short. Tell me the story for those of us, and that you tell in the film.
What drew me to it, and obviously Michael Lewis is an amazing writer, so the book is definitely a book everyone should read. But what I loved about it was that it was, he really burrows down on these 4 or 5 outsiders who, despite the numbers being cartoonishly obvious that there was a housing bubble, for some reason, this little group of guys were the only ones that saw it. Yeah. And right away, I was hooked because I just love, what does that say about our culture that all of us...
All the smart people on Wall Street didn't, and this small group of guys did.
They did. And then on top of that, he's got humor, he's got rhythm, he's got storytelling, and then most of all, he's got information. So by the time I was done reading the book, I felt like I had a pretty good shape of what led to the 2008 collapse. Yet I'd been completely engaged with these characters that, are so amazingly played by these actors. But I just never read a book that did that much, where I was learning, where I was engaged, where it was dramatic, tragic, funny. And the way Lewis writes, it's all so effortless.
Now, I assume you knew all the stuff about derivatives and all of the sort of financial
you
security
correctly. And that's why Adam called.
Because he knew you knew
He knew it would be so easy for me to improvise in that world. It's hard because Adam likes to improvise.
Yes.
And to improvise a language that you don't speak is tricky. And you have to kind of throw some things in your back pocket and bone up a little bit before you
learn how to pronounce certain words.
Learn them phonetically. But there were days, and some of the actors were better. Jeremy Strong, who plays Vinny, was great at it. He was always loaded and was really articulate. But I didn't know much about it. And then I read the script, I read the book, and learned as much as I could before we started.
Yeah. Did you learn something about the financial industry because of this?
I did, yeah. It's terrifying. It's
terrifying how it could have happened. Nobody smart saw it coming except these guys.
Yeah.
And they knew something about the housing market.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's terrifying that it could happen again and that nothing has really changed.
Well, we say it at the very beginning of the movie. We say all they did was look. That was it. Yeah, and it's terrifying that a whole society can be looking to the right when the information's to the left. And only, I think the total amount of people that really caught this were like 20, 22 people. Obviously, we focus on these 4 or 5. But it's just amazing that that billions of people can be looking in one direction while only a few...
What's amazing is Michael found them, too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's Lewis.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden knew where he was, and because he was looking for a way to tell the story. Mm-hmm. And then he found the few guys who got it and bet on their own.
And then picked the characters that would make the best story, too. Like, he really found the true outsiders. I mean, if you look at some of the other people that bet, I mean, the Christian Bale character, Dr. Michael Burry, is amazing. I mean, he's, you know, a guy who listens to speed metal, has a glass eye, is on the spectrum, and when I talk to him, is one of the most brilliant, honest, decent people you'll ever meet in your life.
Don't you think, Adam, I mean, it's amazing that we have a chance to see the range?
It's really cool. I mean, what's so cool about it is that comedy is really, really hard. Yeah. And there's so many talented actors in comedy, and there's like a limited kind of group of about 20 of them that can do what they do, and no one else can do it. Yeah. So it's always fun to see a guy like Steve that we've always known for years. He's brilliant. Right. He's, you know, he's so tactical, and he works so hard. He almost has a method approach to comedy. And to see him put it towards drama, yes, it's really cool.
You have a method approach towards comedy?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. I don't know.
Would you
know what I'm doing.
Would you share it with him?
No, I
will never say that. I will say it.
Yeah, he wouldn't say that, but you know it's true.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm fantastic.
Too bad. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Now he has a compound.
But don't share it. Okay, don't share it. That's all right.
No,
Charlie,
it's mine.
Have you been to his house?
No, never been invited.
He has a place
and there's a reason, too.
He has a place in Sedona.
Socially unacceptable. That's what he said.
It's in Sedona.
I like you in our house.
It's on a mountaintop.
Yes, it is.
He has several. They're not wives. That would be creepy. But he has several attendants, I think he calls them.
What do they do?
They're with him, and they look beautiful, and they make sure he's relaxed.
They trust you.
And he's got about 17 kids.
Really?
And he's got a lot of fan boats for some reason.
Really?
He loves to.
Someone's watching this and saying, I didn't know that about Steve Carell.
Because they believe everything they hear on this show.
Yeah, they do. Still irony.
You have to go do another show somewhere.
I do.
Oh, we're going to miss you here. We're going to continue this talking about you. We'll spend the rest of the program talking about you.
Please don't. You're going to lose your audience.
Are you making another movie?
I'm going to make a movie with Emma Stone in the spring, based on, directed by Dayton and Ferris, who directed Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
And it's about the battle of the sexes, and I'm playing Bobby Riggs, and she's playing Billie Jean King.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be fun.
That's a great story.
That'll
be so good.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Are you involved in this at all?
Yes, I'm producing it, directing. No, I'm not at all.
All right, let me look at some scenes from this movie, and let's talk about it. All right, let's go to the first scene where Steve's character is talking to the phone to his wife, played by Marisa Tomei. All right, here it is. So now that he's gone, tell me about him as an actor and the portrayal he gives you of this character, Steve Eisman.
Well, I mean,
name something else in the film.
I mean, he's obviously so humble, but I knew he'd be good. But it was so much fun to work with. I've worked with him in 2 other comedies. I've worked with him in Chicago doing theater, Second City. And what I saw in this movie was this hunger for the moment, this tenacious, I won't quit until I know it's true. And it was a completely different experience working with him, because I felt like we were both like chasing down a stray calf with every take.
But Eisman is a larger-than-life character.
Yes.
And you say he found a way to get inside that didn't just do impressions of the larger-than-life character.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you meet the real Steve Eisman, he's Mark Baum in this movie. He's, you know, very confident, very funny. You know, reads comic books, and he brought this vulnerability, and you can see the anger, the betrayal by the world in every scene that he plays. That's so perfect. And he really did he got his feet on the ground with the character, and it would have been a very easy character to go super big with. But Steve just has amazing instincts. Like, he came in knowing he has a big speech moment in the end of the movie that could easily have been, you know, Hollywood strings. This is the moralistic moment, and all Steve did was say, I don't want it to be that. I was like, I don't want it to be that either. So we both fought against that to make it as real as we could while having it be a speech. So he's got these great instincts. He knows when it's for real. He knows what he wants to see, and then he just works and pushes to get there. You know, the other guy that he reminded me of was Christian Bale. I thought the two of them kind of similar in their approach.
Well, you as actors.
Yeah. As far as huge amounts of preparation and an amazing nose for the truth. I thought the two of them kind of similar.
And actors do that on their own, do they? I mean, do they go do that, and then when they show up, they have it?
For sure. I mean, like, as a director, you encourage them. I told Steve before the movie, I said, I'd love for you to put on some weight. Because, you know, Eisman's kind of a little bit of a, you know, he's got some weight. So Steve showed up 20 pounds heavier, and I was like, oh. I didn't think you'd put on that much weight. And then the same with Christian. I said, I'd love for you to spend time with the real guy. And sure enough, he goes and spends like a day and a half with the guy, gets his real clothes, learns how to play drums like the real guy. So,
learns how to play drums?
Yes. Yeah. In 3 weeks.
You don't do that overnight, do you?
No. And especially the kind of drums he had to play. It's speed metal. It's one of the hardest forms of drums. And in 3 weeks, Christian Bale learned this By Demons Be Driven. I think it's by Pantera. Incredibly difficult song with double kick drums, and just played it nonstop. And you realize, like, a lot of people think of these guys as like big movie stars, like, oh, they're famous, Christian Bale, Brad Pitt, but they're really good.
Now, is Brad Pitt producing this as well?
He is. Yeah. He and his company, Plan B.
They bought the screenplay, the rights to the film, to the book early.
Exactly. Yeah.
Was it a hard book to make into a film?
You know, for me, I've always been looking for this chance to mess with the form. I've always known that, you know, film's been around for a long time, and I've seen some movies that I really liked, like 24-Hour Party People by Michael Winterbottom, American Splendor with Paul Giamatti, where they've played with breaking the fourth wall. And I've really always felt like audiences can handle that. I think we're ready for it now. 30 years ago, no. So when I read this book, yes, it's difficult, but I knew that if I played with the fourth wall, I could pull it off, and there could be a different kind of kinetic energy to it. So that's exactly what drew me to it.
And what does Brad play?
Brad plays a great character. He's the mentor to the two sort of greenhorns. John Magaro and Finn Wittrock play the kind of rookies. And he's the old gunslinger who hung up his guns, who like hated Wall Street so much. And now he's become an end times prepper. So he really thinks the whole world's going down. And it's based on a true guy. And these young guys convince him to come out of retirement to help him get, you know, their ISDA so they can start trading these big time options.
Here's what the New York Magazine said in this issue, which they gave a lot of attention to this movie. It said, lately before McKay and his wife go to bed, he's been talking about climate change. In particular, the paper from Stanford he read last summer about the sixth mass extinction. He's thinking he might do a movie about it next. It would be serious, he said, but with some cool stuff. Then again, he's also interested in immigration narrative. Do you think there's a way to do a movie about immigration that's a comedy, and yet people who are anti-immigration would go see it and be able to watch it and to have some degree of enjoying it? This is true.
That's true. Well, you know, we kind of did it with Talladega Nights.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, there's a way you can do this that's not condescending, that's not judgmental, that, like, we're all in this. We're all trying to figure it out. And I don't know, it's a question. Can you do a movie where guys go down to protect our border, these sort of hapless characters, and, you know, end up crossing over into Mexico and then have to get back in? I don't know.
But do you, as a writer and as a director, have a keen sense of interest in public affairs?
You know, I just think we live in incredibly unusual times right now. And I just think there are a lot of things happening right now that have never happened in the history of mankind. I mean, the giant media machine that we have in the United States with thousands of TV channels.
That's why you made the
Anchorman.
Yeah, exactly. Anchor 2 about the basic cable industry.
Exactly. And I think we have, you know, obviously this interconnectedness going on with our financial system and the internet. I mean, there's so many things happening. And then we have climate change, which, you know, possibly could be the biggest threat to mankind ever. So I just think to ignore these subjects would be foolish. I think we're living in...
And you can find absurdity in all of them.
They're
and
all...
therefore comedy, and therefore...
Exactly.
Insight as well.
Exactly.
All of that.
They're all crazily absurd. I mean...
What's the relationship between you and Will? I mean,
Will and I, yeah, we just have this crazy partnership. It started back at Saturday Night Live, and you know,
you were the head writer at the time.
Mm-hmm. And he comes from a divorced family. His dad is a musician. I'm from a divorced family. My dad's a musician, and we're both basically the same age, and we laugh at the same things. And what I love about Will is he doesn't believe any of the hype. I mean, he is in no way full of himself. And both of us believe in no drama. And both of us sort of constantly laugh about the fact that people are stressing out about movies, whereas in like 40 years, we're not going to be watching movies anymore. It's going to be...
What are we going to be watching?
We're going to be watching, you know, 4D virtual reality discs. And... So, yeah, it's been an amazing relationship. And he's also got a great sort of, you know, view of the world. He's political, he's social, yet he's not strident. Biden. He's got a sense of humor. So, yeah, we've just had an amazing partnership.
Are you interested in the presidential primaries?
I guess so. Sort of like finding the power in your fridge went out and everything's rotten inside. I interested like that. Like, oh, I didn't know bread could turn that color, you know. Yeah.
You didn't know it could be this bad. Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. Yeah, it is really, really shocking. I'm 47, and I feel like a 90-year-old man when I talk about it. Like, I have to tell my daughters, like, it didn't used to be this way.
and when you think of Trump, I mean, what do you want just simply to create a character like Trump, knowing that it would be an instant success on television?
You know, we actually, on Funny or Die, the website that Will and I run together, we did a character called Donaldo Trumpez, who was the Mexican Donald Trump, complaining about all the Americans coming down to drink tequila in Mexico and how he wants to build a wall. And that video ended up getting like 25 million hits. So, yeah. I've never seen anything like Trump. I got to be honest, and Ben Carson, I really haven't. It's just beyond the bounds of satire. I mean, if you know, the movie Network looks so quaint and rustic.
It does.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's so far out there.
I mean, if Network happened now, it would just be, you wouldn't even blink. Yeah. You'd be like, oh, yeah, the guy got people to yell out their windows, and you'd move right on. Yeah.
Finally, there's this. You told in the same New York Magazine piece, you said, I don't think this movie is about just banking. I think it's all connected. It's about oil company and for-profit education and how a system goes wrong. I mean, that's really what it is about, isn't it?
Yeah.
How does the system go wrong? What happens so that you all of a sudden you have a bubble?
I think this is really one of the big questions confronting us as, you know, humans in the next 100 years, is how it's very easy to start a system, to create an institution, but it's very hard to maintain them. And corruption, especially when we're doing as well as we are, there's all this money floating around, tends to seep in faster and faster and in more and more clever ways. And I think this is the next great question we have to confront, whether it is climate change or banking or the military or whatever it is. We have to look at, I would even point to terrorism to say that, you know, a lot of those terrorists are coming from countries that are crazily corrupt, where the bottom 90% have no money and the top 10% have money. I think it's the number one issue, and that's really kind of what drew me to this movie. Is I think that dynamic is something that needs to be heavily explored and discussed in kind of an abstract way, regardless of the.
So what's on the drawing board?
You know, as far as movies, so I'm looking at a couple different movies. I have an interesting one about. Immigration with Will Ferrell and I that we're talking about. I'm looking at a movie about sociopaths that's a little darker. The idea that our culture eventually will want to cultivate sociopaths because they do very well. They make a lot of money. They're great for corporations. They're great as surgeons. Sort of a dark comedy that I'm playing with. There's another script that I'm kicking around right now, which is sort of a dark superhero kind of script. So I have about 3 or 4 projects I'm kicking around, and you always kind of see which one takes root.
It takes its own direction.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's great to have you.
Pleasure, man.
Adam
Always.
McKay. The Big Short is the movie.